the result would have been different. Look, it's always disappointing to leave to not play a particular game for your country, and when you know you're bowling well and all that. But again, I would definitely make peace of it, saying, okay, the team definitely took the decision in the best interest of the team. I don't think any captain or any coach really wants to leave out a player that they believe can be of use in that particular game. From their perspective, they would have thought they would have made the best decision at that point of time. So even though you're disappointed, you will have to come around the fact that it is a team game and sometimes maybe someone else playing that game. Look, not a lot of teams around the world have what India has. And the person who's taking my place is Ravindra Jadeja. And he's been batting pretty well, as you see his averages with the bat. I think that's where he's outscored me in those games, and the team believes that he's been batting really well, and bowling might not be such a big factor because of the pitches that we might play in England and sometimes in South Africa. So, yeah, I would say I'd make peace with that, yeah.
Last few.
Ashwin, from wanting to be a batter to becoming one of the biggest match winners for India with the ball, sort of cook of fate, but would you have bargained for it, and how satisfying has it been?
Sorry, I missed it, sir.
Would you have bargained for it at the start for becoming what you have to becoming what you wanted to be? How satisfying at the end of the day?
Well, I wouldn't know really, because I've probably worked a little bit more harder on my batting, maybe a few thousand runs more, and maybe a better. I've put in efforts. I wouldn't shirk away the thing and say I haven't put in the efforts and things haven't worked for me or anything like that. I've consistently put the efforts with the bat. From someone who couldn't clear the 30-yard circle when I started playing T20 cricket in 2008 or 7. Come a long way. I've won games with the bat, hit sixes at the vital stages of the game. So I've consistently, that's one thing that will probably make me very proud. Not the number of wickets, number of runs, number of games. It's the fact that I've always remained very uncomfortable. Staying extremely uncomfortable is a very, very important trait to have if you're in international cricket. More so if you're an Indian international cricketer.
Ashwin, you're one of those players who've come up from the T20 setup, and nowadays there's a lot of talk about straight-jacketing players for certain formats. Some younger players feel that if they're playing a particular format, they'll give the short shift to the longer format. So, but we've seen from players like you that it's possible to straddle across formats and evolve and improve. So could you talk a bit about that, about shifting between formats and constantly innovating?
Treading a very careful line of not making this a punch. But it's more of a lack of understanding when you say that I came through the T20 format. Because I had a good 30-40 match first class stint before I made it to the Indian team. The same year I made my test debut, I got a fifer in the rest of India game for the rest of India side in the Irani Trophy. I had played 3-4 seasons of club cricket in Chennai. You might say, what are the standard differences there? But I played 3-4 years of club cricket there, probably mentored by seniors, told where I've made mistakes, corrected my disciplines, bowled long spells, been there all 3 days, batted and bowled. It's a very, I would say it really builds your resolve as a cricketer when you do all those things. T20 happened by accident, and I didn't know what T20 cricket was like. Played Syed Mushtaq Ali in 2008 for the first time. We were the winners. Got a CSK contract, which also happened because I got a fifer in a 50-over game playing club cricket in Chennai. So, look, I'm deeply indebted for being there at the right place, right time, and also the right kind of people seeing me. A lot of things need to go your way when you have to get the breakthrough and also continue playing for so many years. I'm indebted for all those things, but I wouldn't definitely agree that I came through the white ball to the red ball format. It was the other way around. Yes, the journey have coincided, and IPL gave me the stage. It's like you dancing inside an auditorium in Chennai, vis-a-vis dancing on a global platform, right? And that's what IPL gave me. So all of a sudden, if I had to probably pick up another 150 wickets to be a test cricketer, I had to do much lesser because I got the stage in the IPL. So that's very important. It's extremely important to respect the roots of your game, and the game will give you enough dividends if you do so.
Ashwin, from starting as a boy who just wanted to play cricket, I just don't want any cricketing thing from it. Just, how emotional this has been, starting as a boy, evolving into a different bowler, then, things happening in the family from being just a son to a father, now a husband to, just if you could talk about the emotions which are going through, if at all there are any, before playing this game. We have heard a lot, like, when it comes to cricket. So just like, if you talk about the emotion side of it.
One of my biggest problems is I have a giant-sized memory. I can go back into the closet and remember many things, which has helped me over the years, but it's also a big drawback. Because I have a great memory, I think people think I value numbers. I actually don't value numbers. It doesn't mean anything to me. These 100 test matches, the 100th test match, I think means at least 10 to 100x more to my dad than it does to me. It probably means a lot more to my wife than it does to me and to my mom. In fact, my daughters are more excited than I am for this game, frankly. It's just another number. I think I've reiterated it again and again. Zahir Khan was a 94th test. He got a 5 for, didn't go on to play a 100th test match. MS Dhoni didn't. MS Dhoni could have very well rode on and played till 100. He didn't. I'm not saying it's not a great feat. For different purposes of where I come from and what I've done and how it can be a changing point for people who come from my state, I think it's a great achievement. Beyond that, I think playing test matches for such a long time and even playing Indian cricket for a long time and being on the road, the kind of sacrifices a family needs to make is enormous. There is a lot more emphasis on the value that a family brings to the table in countries beyond India. I think it still doesn't dawn upon us. When families make tours and tour abroad, I think people get the feeling that they're on a holiday. It actually isn't. You're booted up inside a hotel room. Once you lose a game, you don't feel like going down for dinner. You're ordering in all the time. You're staying in a very small room, and it's hard work. And the kind of mental agony sometimes they could go through is phenomenal. I mean, my father feels obliged to pick up 40 calls and answer why his son wasn't the greatest on a particular day. Can be extremely cruel, man. And he does that. And I've told him over the years that you don't have to, you're not obliged to answer anybody. But he just finds, I don't know, it's crazy. Even now my dad watches the game like he watches the first test match that I played. So the journey he travels, he's got a heart failure. He's gone through the hospital twice. My mom's again been in the hospital. I don't know for what joy they're doing it. They continue doing it. And I think this is a wonderful story. Every household, has these sort of stories. You see many more people coming from different hamlets of the country having some, unbelievable stories, but the family goes through a lot. Just because they hail from a country with 1 billion people, it doesn't mean their journeys and families should mean less of it.
Final question. Any particular individual batsman you enjoyed the most?
I've loved bowling to Steven Smith, Williamson, and Joe Root. I think they're some of the finest batters going around in the world right now. But when I played first class cricket, before I played first class cricket, I've had the joy, and even in first class cricket, the absolute privilege to bowl to some of the gun batters of spin that I have ever encountered. I would just name a few. I've had the privilege of bowling to him in the nets. Haven't really encountered much of him in the game. Badrinath, I felt he was one of the finest batters of spin. Then Mithun Manas from Delhi, one of the finest players of spin. Rajat Bhatia again from Delhi. These are I still feel some of the greatest batters against spin that I would have completely not wanted to encounter in international cricket. They were some of the most wonderful batters of spin, and they were my finishing school before I started playing international cricket. So I would like to take my hat out because they gave me some valuable lessons over the years.